And now let's start a new game, shall we? Maybe a little bit loud, the music. For background music. Let me adjust that a little bit. So. Okay, let's start a single player game. Start a new game. We're jumping right in. No time wasted. The Akko Sombo. That's me. I'll be lurking while I see a couple of streams. Sorry if I can't keep up. That's totally fine. Blacko, lurk away. I got a haircut, yes. I've been, I think I've been talking about that for about a year now, that I want to get a haircut again. But I finally did it. Cape Bonavista. Thank you, Coley. And I'm sorry, Athalas.
You see her? Man the cannons!
Oh boy, there we are. Move. Okay, here I am. By the way, I am playing on PlayStation 4, the remastered version of Black Flag. And we are right in a battle here.
Take the bloody wheel!
Well, I cannot weigh. Take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. Firing cannons. To fire with your cannons, hold L2 and move R to aim, then press... Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Got him! Ooh, yes! I'm back! I'm back on my ship! Ooh. Come on. Down he goes! Die! Ah, almost! Come on! There we go! Sink! Oh, this is a lot of fun. Should also be back on screen. Ooh. That's a big boy. Oh, big boy got struck by the... Got him! Oh. Oof! They hit me. This is chaotic. Ooh. Okay. This ship combat we will see a lot of in this game. Which is good because it is a lot of fun. Hey Orchestra! Welcome to the stream and same goes to you, Violet. How are you all? Let's gain some... Oh, got him! Haha, I'm a sniper. Let's go to the side and fire! Hit it a little bit. Oh, it's firing. That's... Thank you for the information, mister. I assume that was Fizz. And down it goes. What a fun start. I'm well rushed off my feet this week, but wow. That's good to hear that you're well. Get some rest now. Get in there. Oh no. It's an assassino. Oh, hi. Ooh. And we go for a swim.
Is it dangerous? Edward? Privateering, is it dangerous?
Wouldn't pay so nice if it weren't.
Why not sail with the King's Navy? Earn a proper wage, sail under gentlemen.
Sod the Navy's gentlemen. For every shilling I'd earn, the captain gets 600. That's no way to earn a fortune.
We don't need a fortune.
It's not about need, Caroline. I want food that don't make me sick. I want walls that hold back the wind. I want a decent life.
How long would you be gone with these privateers?
A year, I reckon. 2 at the most.
All right. No more than 2. Promise me.
So that's our main character, Edward Kenway. And I assume that was before we took off for the Caribbean Sea.
Well, shiver me
Exactly,
timbers,
Orchestra.
what have we here?
Thank you for the follow, War Incarnate. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Now we have to swim. And we have to swim faster. That is pretty much it, Alcastra. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. Look at us. We are Michael Phelps of swords. Oof. Oh, there's the assassin guy.
Was it good for you as well?
Really looking forward to play at one Garnet.
Havana. I must get to Havana.
Well, I'll just build us another ship, will I?
I can pay you. Isn't that the sound you pirates like best? 100 escudos.
No, not the first time, but I remember barely anything. I played it back when it came out, so ages ago.
Keep talking.
Will you or won't you?
You don't have that gold on you now, do you?
I know it is about pirates.
Bloody fucking pirates!
I haven't played it yet, Orchestra. Okay, he wants to kill us, and now bails.
I'm on to you, Snakesby!
So a little bit of a twist here is that we aren't actually an assassin as we start the game, but instead
Come on,
we're
mate.
a pirate
We're off to a
that
bad start.
has a run-in with an assassin. We sport 2 sabers, it seems. We can run around on the shore. I guess I can jump somehow. I can jump. Looks pretty. It's a pretty little island. I would like to have some vacation there. That is our assassin's vision. This way we are covered. We can whistle, which all will be probably explained later, but there we go. The free running system. Oof. I played Unity when it first out. It was fun, but really buggy. Heard they dig a lot of patches for that, though. Yeah, I heard so too. That by now, with all the patches, it plays well. You aren't an assassin, but you already have your assassin's vision. Well, I guess pirates, assassins. Don't think about it too hard. Don't think.
It's 100 leagues or more to Havana. Will you walk that distance?
We go down here. So this assassin's guy wants to go to Havana, and as you can imagine, we are in the Caribbean Sea, or Caribbean Sea? What's the right pronunciation? And for those who are not familiar with the Assassin's Creed games, usually what they do is that they are a mix of real historical facts and events, and then tie in the fictional involvement of the assassins and their opposing faction, the Templars, which I always find very fun because I like history, and so it was always fun to visit certain historical events and meet historical people, get a little bit of background to them. There will be something like a log where you can then just look up what their actual biography is and learn that. And then also then with the fictional element of the assassins and how it all ties up. And sometimes it's better tied into real history, sometimes it's a little shoehorned in. But for the most part, I do enjoy that element of it. And I feel it is especially fun if you have a soft spot for history. Around Cuba, we are... generally, we will ship around in the Caribbean Sea. I played all before Black Flag, then I played Black Flag, and then after Black Flag I only played a little bit of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Well, if you have any high moment, you remember the name came supposedly from Hashashin, a sect of killers that believe the vision of smoking hashish granted knowledge and abilities. Yes, that is where it supposedly comes from, the name Assassin. Oops. And as we go on, we will have plenty of main and side missions. We will meet a bunch of historical figures, meet or visit real places, and also have a bunch of pirate fun. So if you are into that kind of stuff, I think you all will have fun, including myself. Now I have to find out where to continue. Oh, there. It goes up. And among the sneaky stealth combat, there's also lots of free running like this, climbing around. The Assassin's Creed series, although now a lot of people moan about it, because mostly because they threw out the different installments so frequently that people got tired of it. But in a lot of way, the series really influenced a lot of modern titles, with their free running system and combat system. After Assassin's Creed 1, a lot of popular games kind of copied that, and some refined it and made it even better. But props to the Assassin's Creed creators. We are. Plop. Very nice. These synchronizations usually deal or are for us to discover the area. So now we have a clear view here, which shows us all kinds of different icons. We have other viewpoints. This one is wide, meaning that we already visited it. We can fast travel to them. And then we have chests here, and there is a letter. I will try to get as many as possible. As always, I'm not a completionist, but I do like collecting things as long as they are fairly on my way. I have no problem with the core ideas of the game, but it was one of so many games that are just chumped out just to add yet another game in the series to get people to pay the publishers. Yeah, I mean, that is something a lot of people share, and I do to a degree as well. I just got tired in the sense of that I lost interest in them just because there were just too many games of it. But they changed up, as far as I know, the formula with Assassin's Creed Black Flag a lot, and going on from there added more RPG elements and role-playing elements, at least from what I was able to see in the little bit that I played Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So here we have a few chests, and then we have a letter somewhere here. There. Message in a bottle. Hello, Draco Insanity. Yeah, I mean, and that's also the good thing about these games, that you don't have to buy them all. They are fairly, at the very least by now, they're not connected with each other. So if there is like a theme that you really like, for example, here pirates, or you really like the ancient Greeks in Odyssey, or you're really into Victorian era in London, then Syndicate, you can check that out, but don't have to play the other ones. I agree, they began to get so watered down, the quality went way up after they decided to make more time in between games and not just churn them out. Yeah, and also now that they don't connect them anymore, but just have a theme for the game, I feel like they fleshed out the story again a little more, similar like it was in the beginning in Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. Played up to Rogue, yeah. For several days... Oh, are they reading it? No. Okay, I have to read it. Fine. For several days, I stayed with my captor, Balaam, asking him all manner of questions, and he asked the same of me. And all the while, I wondered what fate he'd intended for me. At last, on the 7th day, I revealed what lay heavy on my heart. What do you want of me, sir, that you keep me prisoner so? And at this, Balaam laughed and answered, You are no prisoner, sage. You may take your leave at any point. Only tell us where you wish to be dropped, and if it be in our power, we shall transport you thence. This answer surprised, then angered me. Why then did you spirit me away with such a diabolical method? Kidnapped, no less. And said he in answer, Your master hosted a Templar, and may now be one himself. Such men are not to be trusted, with a price so valuable as you. Steer clear of them, for they seek the knowledge that hides in your mind, my dear. Your dreams, your memories, and the location of a place once dear to you, the observatory. This word rang in my ears, for I had heard it before, another memory from a time long ago. And what do you desire of me, sir? I asked him. Would you steal the secrets buried within me too? Balaam smiled. I would not shun them, but to share them is a point for you to decide. Your secrets are your own, and yours alone to lend. I know the combat is good in this in general and related to my comments, so are the Dishonored games, but I wish they'd Thief style an Assassin game more. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I had always the issue with the Dishonored game that they were first person. And we have a little overview about the characters. We have Caroline Scott, daughter of Emmett and Elizabeth Scott. Caroline was born in Bristol, England, to a prosperous family of merchants and civil servants. Given a modest education by her father, she furthered her own studies in her own way, taking time to read as often as her family duties allowed. Splitting her time between this and helping her mother manage her father's affairs, she grew into a confident and level-headed woman with more skill and intelligence than her situation allowed her to exercise. Caroline first met Edward Kenway outside the Old Shillelagh and the aftermath of a drunken altercation. She had arrived to fetch one of the servants and there found Edward escorting the woman from of the clutches of one of Bristol's more notorious cats. Thankful for his kindness, Caroline agreed to a second meeting on more equitable terms, hardly thinking a romance possible. And yet, against most odds, that is just what happened. Edward and Caroline grew quite close and soon fell in love, much to the dismay of her father. Emmett Scott had already promised his daughter to the son of a wealthy East India Company executive, and made his displeasure apparent at every turn. But all his noise was to no avail. Caroline and Edward were married in 1712. Like the Dishonored games because you get cool magic powers and fun gadgets. I played both of the ones. Yeah, I heard that they're very good. I'm just not a big fan of first-person games, as some of you might know. Duncan Walpole. Second cousin to Robert Walpole, Britain's first Prime Minister, Duncan was raised in relative comfort and ease until his 18th birthday, whereupon he joined the British Royal Navy as a midshipman with dreams of becoming a full officer. So this, for example, is a good that is a good example for how they tie in reality and fiction. So you have the reality of Robert Walpole, Britain's first Prime Minister, but they add the fiction that his second cousin, was an assassin. His immoral temper and his impulsiveness, however, stymied a swift ascension, and he grew impatient with his progress. After 3 years, his interest in the Navy had dwindled to nothing. With his heart set on finding a post with the East India Company, he had a chance meeting with a fellow sailor whom he had come to respect and admire. And it was this sailor who introduced Walpole to the assassin order and all its teaching. Leery at first, Duncan soon took to the secret order with a fervor and drive that he had not known in the Navy. And as his skills increased, so too did his reputation. But his temper and impulsiveness, coupled with a growing arrogance, were always a liability, and he was known for his frequent clashes with the elders of the British Assassin Order. Still, he was a valuable asset to the order, so much so that in 1714 his mentor asked him to sail for West Indies, rendezvous with the Brotherhood there, and meet with their mentor Tabai. Walpole accepted his position with eagerness and departed within the month. The assassins in England never heard from him again. I heard a lot good about Tenchu. Then we have Edward Kenway. Edward James Kenway was born on the 10th of March in Swansea, Wales, to Bernard Kenway of Manchester and Lynette Hopkins of nearby Cardiff. By Edward's 10th birthday, his father had moved the family to a small farm just outside Bristol, a nearby port town in the southwest of England. Note, not sure a Welsh leading man would be interesting. Can we do ADR to replace his voice? I know a great actor from London who'd be perfect. Speaks in a gravelly RP accent. So that is a hint on what is going on here. We get to that later. This relocation had a depressing effect on young Edward's mood. He grew restless from a lack of contact with old friends and struggled to find an outlet for his limitless energy. By his teens, he was spending more and more time in the city away from his farm, where the lure of excitement overrode prudence. By age 16, he had substituted a career as a successful farmer for a life of hopeless tomfoolery, frequently shirking his responsibilities to his family in favor of rough company. In late 1711, at the age of 17, Edward met Caroline Scott, a woman modest but steady means. Their friendship began cautiously, as Caroline's hand had already been promised to the boorish son of wealthy East India Company executive. But Edward's charms eventually won out, and he and Caroline were married within a year of their meeting, a union that angered her father and got the whole of Bristol talking. Note, poor handsome chap gets wealthier, beautiful girl, this stuff just writes itself. Yes, in a way, Alcastra. In the earliest month of their marriage, Edward resolved to do well by his wife and provide for her as he believed a man in his position should. But Edward's grandiose dreams and exaggerated opinion of himself prevented him from taking immediate responsibility for their well-being, and after only a year he had stumbled back into his worst habits, drinking, fighting, and idleness. It was in this dark period that Edward revived an old idea of joining a privateering fleet sailing for the West Indies with the aim of making war against the Spanish and collecting unchecked sums of gold and cargo. This, he told his wife, was their path to quick riches. Being a sensible and prudent woman, Caroline discouraged these fanciful ideas. Note, is she a harpy? Does she nag him? Are we meant to hate her or what? Because I certainly don't want us to feel conflicted about Edward's choices. He's the hero. Let's avoid scenes of him drinking or gambling. Oh gee. By the summer of 1712, Caroline understood that her husband's departure was inevitable. She wanted no further part of Edward's reckless plan, and so left him to live with her parents. Stunned by this sudden turn, Edward was determined to earn his fortune fast and prove himself as capable as he always claimed he was. He left for the West Indies barely 1 month later, where he soon fell in with the privateer Benjamin Hornigold and his quartermaster at Thatch. Edward spent the first half of 1713 sailing with these two seasoned sailors on regular sweeps of the Windward Passage, but the year fate threw him another upset. With the signing of the Treaty of Utrecht, all hostile action between the major empires came to an end, and prospects of British privateers dried up. Now poor, unemployed, and thousands of miles from home, Edward and his colleagues settled on the island of New Providence in the Bahamas to reconsider their options. These were fanciful days for Edward. He discovered in the small town of Nassau a life quite unlike that which he had left behind. The atmosphere of wild and noisy freedom in this small, stateless encampment overwhelmed and captivated him. The drinking, the gaming, the woman, the aimless desire to simply live as one pleased. And yet, as carefree as he was, his beloved Caroline was never far from his mind. If he could make something of himself in the West Indies working a sugar plantation, perhaps he might win her back after all this time away. But in absence of true conviction, habit takes hold fast, and it was only a matter of time before Edward set back out to sea with his mates, live the life they knew best. No longer privateers, legal and sanctioned, but as pirates now, with nary a whit of loyalty to kin and country, earning his fortune by the sword and pistol, and praying his end was never too near. Note, if we can remove some of the more unseemly bits of his personality, this is a great backstory. Edward bound to be a hit. Lots of reading. That was actually one thing I didn't like as much about the Assassin's Creed games. Now I felt like I wasn't actually the assassin. I was pretending to be them since it's a VR thing. All I know, it tied into the backstory that kind of tied them together, but I still want... Yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that. And now we have a little bit about pirates and buccaneers and privateers. Often used interchangeably, there are a number of important distinctions to make between these infamous high seas swashbucklers. Pirates, criminals on the open sea who use coercion, intimidation, and violence to rob innocent people of their cargo and transport. The term pirate is a catch-all and may be used generally to refer to all who perform acts of larceny and on the open ocean. Pirates have been a problem since the advent of long-distance ocean travel. Every age has seen its share of pirates, and every age has cursed their name and romanticized their cause. During the so-called Golden Age of Piracy, roughly 1650 to 1725, the majority of pirates were from the British Isles. Most were young men in their 20s, and almost all had already gained some experience as sailors prior to falling into piracy. So we are kind of on the tail end of the golden age of piracy. Buccaneers, though often used as a synonym for pirates now, the term buccaneer refers more specifically to a group of pirates who lived and operated in the West Indies in the middle of the 17th century. Best known for attacking settlements and fortification on land in large groups, the buccaneers derived their name from the French term boucanier, an instrument used for smoking strips of meat over an open fire, a favorite sort of sustenance for these terrestrial pirates. Privateers were non-commissioned sailors who attacked and robbed, given a letter of marque by their king of their king's official, such as the governor. Thus, the distance between a pirate and a privateer is but a hair's breadth of difference. Pirates simply sail for one monarch fewer. Okay, we have the people. We have ships. How many ships? The HMS Intrigue and the Jacobite. That's okay, we can just look at them. No more reading. Gameplay. I'm sorry, but as you guys know, I like to go through these things. I like to be as thorough as possible. But now I'm back in the game. It is way brighter and way more lovely. Now the big question though is, how do I get back up? Maybe using this shipperino. But yes, that obviously was a lot at once, but as we go on, we can look up the people that we meet and also get interesting information about the actual real-life people that existed. So, now that there is another chest somewhere. There. Let's open it. Let's loot it. Loot is good. There we go. You can look at the map here. So I seem to have picked up everything in this area. Then we have a chest here, here, and here. I want to pick up. And there is an immerse fragment. What that is, we will find out in a second. Here we mostly just find gold that we then have to use as we continue for upgrades, but those are all things that will be explained later. Don't have to care for that too much right now, but I do want this immerse fragment. No! No! How do I get up there? Maybe this way. There we go. There we go. We have one fragment, although we don't know yet how it works. There is another chest. So lots of collectibles here, and again, I won't collect everything in the game, but things that are on my way I will. And we can also skin animals and hunt animals, which will be resources to upgrade equipment as we move on. All very familiar mechanics.
We could work together on this.
Nothing too revolutionary here, though the Assassin's Creed games, in a lot of ways, started these kinds of mechanics in a more mainstream manner, I would argue. Now, this guy jumped over here. I have to still find them. The game looks pretty, considering that it is by now a little bit older. It is the remastered version on PlayStation, but still. Oh, we have a... Oh boy. We have an animal there. I don't know. I don't know how to fight. There are more animals. I don't know how to fight. Hey, it's a boar. I don't know. Oh, okay. Now I remember how to fight. There we go. That was interesting. We killed him with the famous Assassin's Creed or Assassin's Hidden Blade, although we, as of yet, don't have it. Foreshadowing. That's what pirates say. Yes, welcome, Mademoiselle Danielle. We are not only good at math, but we are also rating pi. Okay. So I guess... Oh, now I know what I had to do. I have to climb up to activate this viewpoint to then get more information about the area. You know the difference between how history tells it and how it actually happens? Yep. That is a good reference. Yeah, true, but it would be easier to accept if you could misremember it. Yeah. Yeah, it's... but I can see both sides there. I personally, in the first games, I liked it, but I also felt like that the overarching story kind of lost its charm in Assassin's Creed 3. So I like that with Assassin's Creed 4, they had way less of that. And I don't remember if there was anything of it really in Assassin's Creed Syndicate of the bit that I played. Oh! Can also stealth swim. Whatever that means. So there we unlock this area now with the viewpoint, and there we get all the information about the chests, etc. So what you really want to do in these games is to first go to a viewpoint whenever you see one, so you can clear the map and know where the things are. Hey! Whoa! He shot at me! I will get you now. So our first chase sequence. You son of a witch! That was rude, I agree. How are you doing, Mademoiselle Danielle? Ah. See him? Ah. Okay, there. Counter, attack. Killed him. I'm doing well, Danielle.
Senor Duncan Walpole, I accept your most generous offer and await your arrival with eagerness. If you truly possess the information we desire, we have the means to reward you handsomely. Though I will not know your face by sight, I believe I can recognize the costume made infamous by your secret order. Therefore,
oh no, no, El Castra. I will get after that cutscene. I will. That was not the case.
Su más humilde servidor, el gobernador Laureano Torres y Ayala.
So we just pick up the assassin armor because we are a pirate, and the thing that we do is looting.
Let's collect your reward.
And our plan is, as we posing as Mr. Walpole and collect his reward. And it was not that he knew the area. We saw him. He was on one of the ships that attacked us, and we both just flew into the water and crash landed here on the shore. So he was just, as I was, crash landed, and he was also injured. So that is the reason why we could catch him so quickly. Now we have a sexy little cape. What do you mean, Mademoiselle Danielle? So now before I continue, I want to collect a few things here. Because we will need all the money that we have. Or, not all the money that we have, but we need all the money that we can get. Also, we are pirates. What? You're not Danny? What's going on here?
Hello there.
Thank you for the host, Squidgineer. Hello, everyone. How are the cool fish? Hello, room. Oh, where am I? I shouldn't be down here. Okay, I think I broke my leg. Athelas is not monotone, no. Athelas is a fierce warrior lady. Queen. Warrior lady queen. Hello, Frosty Woman. Room, Squidgineer, how are you? How was XCOM? You played XCOM, right? So, I want to go a little bit back to see if I can collect some things. I'm gonna go kind of up there, I think. I don't even know. Let me quickly look at the map. What? How was I able to miss so many things? Okay, first I have to go back here. Fast travel unavailable. Great. But I still want to pick them up before we leave this island. Frosty Woman, thank you for resubbing with Twitch Prime, with the Prime sub. 15 months now. XCOM was good? You enjoyed it? That's great. Did everyone survive? Or did we have heavy casualties? Did Squid do a good job? You can say now. That puck, yes! I still don't know what you meant earlier with the monotone, Mademoiselle Danielle. XCOM was good. Another assassin dead. Well, I hope that this assassin won't die. But, I mean, on the other hand, technically, I guess we're not an assassin.
Men on a dead man's chest. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum.
Orchestra!
The devil had done for the rest. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. We wrapped them all in a mainsail tight, with twice 10 turns of a hawser's bite, and we heaved them over and out of sight with a yo heave ho and fare you well, and a sullen plunge in the sullen swell. 10 fathoms deep on the road to
Twitch app keeps showing me this again. I've no idea how far through I am.
Thank you for the resub. 2 months now. Welcome back. Don't worry, Akko, it was one shot, and I think it was actually the other guy. His clothing and skin and hair were all the same color. Oh, I see. Let's kill a boar. We are bored. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the changes they made to the resubbing system either. I preferred it the way they handled it before. Stuck like a pig. Okay, there we have another fragment. So that is, aside from the story aspects of this game, exploring and collecting is a big part of it, which is, if I am correct, aside from the shanties, but that part of the game series is probably what Hypatia enjoyed, the exploration. Oops. Okay, we got that. Then, it makes sense to hunt the animals later for upgrades. We will get to all of that. For now, I just want to collect the things that are on this little island before we continue. And there we have a monkey. And then we will learn on how to use all these things later on. And murdering things. True. I know that Hypatia is very keen on murdering people with her horse in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And maybe I will get to Odyssey as well. I mentioned it. I kind of wanted to go back to Assassin's Creed Black Flag because I know that I had fun with it. Kind of get into the Assassin's mode and mood again. To then maybe see if I want to play the newer installments of the Assassin's Creed series. I'm not as much interested in Unity or Origins, but I may finish Syndicate since I once started it before, and maybe check out Odyssey, which thematically is more something I like, I think. I do like that they are counting all the months sub, not just sub run. That I do like, yeah. That is a good change, that it's not only about subbing. Because I always felt like it was a little bit unfair that like people support you for such a long time and then they miss a month because they're not active or because money is short or whatever it is. But I always felt like it's a little bit unfair that they don't get to celebrate then the overall months. I was curious about the Egyptians themed one because I loved ancient Egypt, but I haven't bothered to try it. Yeah. So here's another a new thing that we... I don't know. Do I have... I think I have to climb this one in order to activate it. I think these are like... Is a puzzle element? Interact. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a puzzle element. Align the shape on the highlighted objects. So these will obviously get a little bit tougher as we go on, but these are little puzzles things. There we go. This one obviously was easy, but that then if we solve it, we get some special reward down here, for example, and we can dig that. Did you play Assassin's Creed Rogue or just Syndicate Afterplay? I only, after Black Flag, the only one that I played a little bit of was Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Oh, he will be a freshman next year. Exciting, Frosty. That's crazy. You need to start telling him to grow so fast. I mean, how is it possible that you're still 29 when he gets older and older and is now already becoming a freshman? Like, that doesn't make sense. So you need to stop. You need to start telling him to stop that. Stop that aging thing. What is this? Why? Where is this? I assume that the chest is then below. There's something below. Probably where the waterfall is. Classic one. And these, my friends. You see these? This piece of paper flying around. These are the most important things in the game. Because these unlock new shanties. So, and they move then, and you have to chase them to catch them eventually. And you want to do that because you want all the shanties. As I mentioned before, the shanties are the most important part of this game. There, we got the shanty. We got a shanty, everyone. Shanty hype. Most outstanding musician? Oh, wow. Congratulations. That's amazing. That is fantastic. You must be very happy about that. Rightfully so. He can be proud of that. That is most outstanding. Indeed. And we have shanty hype now. Add a little more gold. So yeah, as you can tell, lots and lots of collecting, exploring, and this is just the small intro area. And as you guys know, I don't like to rush through games, so I will take my time. I will try to not waste your time too much, but I also want to collect these things, and it gives us the time to hang out a little bit, to chat a little bit, to talk a little bit, to sing shanties together, to make plans for new shanties maybe. Okay, I think I will get that later. Don't think I want to drop down there now. Now that I think about it, did you finish the Ring City DLC? Yes, I finished it on, what was it? Thursday. So if there are like the augmented reality training in the Batman games, you have to do the parkour run semi-perfectly to get the extras. Yeah, semi-perfectly, but some of them are tough, obviously, but for the most part, collecting the shanties, it's not too bad. You may have to try it once or twice. It will get a little more tricky later, especially in the cities where a lot of stuff is going on, but it's not too tough. And if they are, like, because it is one of those things where if it would be too bothersome for me, it would be just something that I would skip, because I'm not super keen on all the collectibles. But in comparison to the Batman games, I would say they're not as tedious, in my humble opinion. Now, we got the 2 chests here, and for now, obviously, collecting those chests doesn't really mean much, because we don't know yet for what we can use all that money. And the animal hides, for example, but that will all become clearer later. And I would have to go back here anyway to collect these things if I wanted it, so might as well do it now, right? But now it looks like we picked up everything that I can on this island for now. We have here a little...
That schooner will do me just fine.
Oh, I should have activated the viewpoint up there. Oops. I was too focused on the chest that I saw on the ground. And now we're in a restricted area, which means in these areas, if enemy or opposing forces see you, they immediately get hostile. Guards, for example, which again will be more of an element later when you are in the cities, where usually the guards are not paying attention to you, but in those restricted areas they would. Do they only count later in the game, or will collecting them early make some things easier, or at least more varied sooner than later? The shanties itself, they are really just for fun and giggles, because they give you music on the ship later. We get to that, which is the best part. And collecting the hides and the gold is just there will be upgrading opportunities both for your equipment and for your ship and all of that, where you will need the money. And I might just do it now since we're here instead of doing it later and then having to go back. After I asked the question, did you play Assassin's Creed or just Syndicate after Black Flag? My connection went wonky, so didn't get the response. After Black Flag, I only played a little bit of Syndicate. That's the only Assassin's Creed game that I played after it. And welcome back, War Incarnate. Okay, now we can do the proper jump here. And we uncovered the map. Now we see there a treasure map. We have another chest and animus fragments, and we also see these animal symbols, which just show us what kind of animals are in that area, which then becomes important for later once we have to look for specific animals to upgrade equipment. But these upgrades, they don't... I mean, they give you certain gameplay benefits, but for the most part, they are cosmetic. Aside from the ship upgrades, they are a little more essential.
Quiet, you bleeding pirate! You'll hang for the mess you made out there.
Sir, I had nothing to do with this attack. My crew and I have merely anchored to water and resupply.
There's a turtle. Or tortoise.
Hold it!
Stalking zones. Dense vegetation can be used as stalking zones. They allow you to hide and move undetected. Use them to approach targets stealthily. So, this guy is running away and is dead.
Take my sugar. Take anything you like. I'll pay you. Anything you like.
Come here. Sleep. A little bit of stealth. Now we can loot him. A little bit of the golds. And on the minimap we can see in which direction they are looking, so I can now move to this bush
Take anything you like.
and wait for him to come back. So in that sense, pretty standard stealth mechanics.
I'll pay you. Anything you like.
And we got another one.
Oh God. Oh God.
There's this guy. Yeah, that makes sense. It is also comparable to, for example, Red Dead Redemption. They have the same method of hunting things. Or maybe even more so the new Tomb Raider games.
Anything you like.
Oh no, he came back. Oh. He walked right into me, but I got him. Okay, now I have these three stooges there. First, I want to loot. And what I now can do, you see the little white rim around the enemies? That means the one that I'm focusing, and sometimes I can... Okay, we alerted this one, which was good, because it pulls him over here. Yeah, nothing here. Everything is fine. Everything, please be quiet. So now I whistled, and he's like, "Ooh, what kind of bird is that?" And he saw the... He actually saw the corpse. And I can pick up the weapon, and these are, I think, more or less one-time use.
Anything you like.
And do this.
By God's grace, sir, you saved me. A profusion of thanks. Is that yours? It is my vessel, yes. But here lies its poor captain, and I have no art for sailing.
I can pilot her myself, no mind.
You don't mean to abscond with my ship, do you?
I'm Duncan. What's your name, friend?
Steed.
I don't think I have the... I think that's a skill that you have to unlock later for Incarnate. Later I can do it for certain.
Havana with speed.
Oh, that is a relief, sir. Havana is also my destination. Our ways lie together.
Natural allies, then.
You put me at ease, sir. To think I took you for a pirate when you first
You have a
appeared.
friend, by the way.
Yes. You have uncommon way
Dear
of handling
sweet
yourself.
man, the sugar
Quick and
man.
easy, if I may say. Gave me quite a fright. But all things considered, I think it's turned out to be a rather fortuitous day, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, something like that. I don't think point was that I think that I can't do it right now. But you're right, later I can certainly do that. So we have a treasure map here in good pirate fashion. Treasure maps. Find treasure maps on Explorer's cadavers. They will lead you to a specific place on an island. Dig there and you might find money or plans to upgrade your ship. Use to select the maps and press triangle to open them. The coordinates will lead you to location, and the image will help you find the right spot. This feature is also accessible from the second screen. Yeah, you can. Right, that was one of the new features of the game, that you could use the second screen like a smartphone for a certain action. Completely useless, but it was one of those things that games tried for a certain time. I guess good on them for trying something new. No second screen experience for me. Aye, there be treasure. So, obviously, now that we start our little adventure here, you guys have to decide what kind of job you want to take on in the crew. Like who's the chef? Who's the pirate chef? Who's like the navigator? Cannoneers? Let me know what you guys are. okay? Because I need to assign you all to your posts on the ship, okay? So how do I get there? Probably from upstairs. Want the animus piece. Before I get the treasure. And I think I have to go this way for the piece. There we go. Flop. And there we have all the animus fragments. We completed this area. Got a trophy. All the good stuff. And this is where the treasure map led us. So, Alcestra, Coley, and Born Connor, what are your jobs on the ship? I need to know that. Are you navigators? Are you cannoneers? Are you a chef? What's going on here? Oh, there. There we can dig it. Something else. Maybe a cartographer. A few seconds later, he discovered the fronts were covering a pitfall trap. Yeah, that would be a sad end to this game. But also quite funny. Trophy! Okay. Let's go back to our ship. And the main fun about this game is truly the ship traveling and combat. I remember just traveling with my ship without... You can fast travel later, but it was just so much fun traveling with your ship through the sea and listen to the shanties of your crew. Just having a good time. Cannoneer sounds fun. I'll make things go boom. Okay. Coley Badger is here for the boom. I like it. And there we are on the boat or ship. Hey! Don't forget the earplugs. Yeah. Or maybe it's too late, then Coley probably couldn't hear you.
Welcome aboard, Duncan. She's a modest schooner, but well suited to my purpose, trafficking cargo from my plantation and such.
Look at that. It looks also amazing to just steer this giant ship.
Strike to full,
I love it. Cook Chronicler. Day 56, salt beef and hardtack again. What am I going to cook with this? Okay, Alcestra has a job too.
Wind at my hair.
Big bada boom.
I find a bracing comfort in the feel and smell of the ocean.
And on the mini-map you see a little arrow that indicates the wind right now. So
that's a top way of seeing it, mate.
Later in combat it will be important if you want to outmaneuver
We've really opened it up now, haven't we?
your opponents. And you obviously can damage your ship. You see the health bar on the top left. But look how fun that is, just in this little area. And later you're on open sea and there's like weather effects and...
A possibility.
Slow down a little bit. And like big waves and whales and all that.
Oh, I see. Yes.
And shanties.
That is a bustling
Did I
strait.
mention shanties? I think we call it flamingo.
But I shouldn't worry about being waylaid by pirates, truth be told. My ship is small, and I have nothing of immense value. Sugarcane and its yields, molasses, rum, that sort of thing.
Yeah, the ship feature in Assassin's Creed 3 was already good, but just a small feature. And here they made a main thing out of it, and also refined it even more. It's just so much fun. Around the corner. There we go. Maybe. Oh, yep. Got it, Master Captain. Captain Akosombo. Whoa! Look at that. These are the good shipkeeping 300 recipes with hardtack. Nice! That is the perfect book. I see you are prepared.
You're a natural sailor, Duncan.
I did a decent trick at the helm some time ago. 2 years before the mast as a privateer.
Dash my buttons. Your life seems a grand one, if I may say.
Dash my buttons.
So full of adventure. How marvelous.
I've seen my share of strangeness, aye.
Now we're leaving the main tutorial area. I've heard of it. I just didn't connect the dots as quickly. Okay.
Fantastic work. Very promising.